Okay, how do you say definitions again in Hebrew?
So the word for fence is a gader.
Gader.
If you imagine, just think of the feminine form of fence. Like a feminine word, you just add an odd.
Gadera.
So gedera, right. Now you just want to add it. Sounds like you're saying the gedera. So hagdara. That's,
Hagdara.
yeah, hagdara. But that's one word. Hagdara.
So definitions is hagderot.
Nachon. That's right.
So if I want to say the definitions, it would be ha-hagderot.
Exactly. Video.
Okay, so ha-hagderot לפרשת, לפרשת השבוע.
That's it.
פרשת vayeitzei.
יפה מאוד.
So vayeitzei is, and he went out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yaakov, Jacob. And what does Jacob mean again?
Heel.
Heel.
Akev. And akev is a heel.
Okay.
It can also mean la'akov, achar, something like to follow after something or to keep tabs on something.
Oh, okay. That's modern Hebrew, though, right?
Yeah, but I don't think it's just modern Hebrew. I think it at least goes back, I think, to Mishnaic Hebrew.
Okay.
No. I think it's even in the Bible in some places. Maybe not in the Torah, but somewhere in the Bible, I think it's used in the sense of following. Like you could say, Ekev hadavarim ha'ele, following or on the heels of these matters, ... It happened.
Okay. So mi be'er shava. So this is the well of 7, right?
Or the oath.
Or oath. Why is it different? Why is it shava instead of shava, as usual?
Well, it's never a shava. It's either sheva or shova.
Shova? Okay, so why is it shova here and not sheva?
All right, now that's the question. So that just has to do with subtleties of Hebrew pronunciation. Depending on where a word is, anywhere in the Bible, you're going to see that, specifically with nouns, that if you have a noun that's later in the verse, the segol is going to turn, the segol on the first syllable is going to turn into a kamatz.
Okay, say that again.
And you'll see it sometimes even in the same verse. Like you might see kesef at the beginning of the verse, and then if it says kesef at the end of the verse, you'll see it change from kesef to kasef.
So where is sheva again here?
It's not. It's just because it's towards the end of the verse.
I don't understand. What do you say?
Because of the word's position in the verse, that it's, I guess, because it's like the last noun referred to or something like that. I don't know exactly why, but I know that when it's towards the end of a verse, a segol turns to a kamatz.
Okay.
I don't know why. It doesn't change the meaning.
Okay.
It's more just a nuance. It's a nuance of pronunciation. It's the same way that in English, in one sentence you may say the, and another sentence you may say the. It's a real thing. There may even be a pattern to it, but it doesn't change the meaning.
Okay. So vayeled.
No.
Oh, sorry. So okay. So vayelech harana. Harana. So he went out, or he went towards Haran.
Mm-hmm. That at the end of Haran lets you know it's toward.
Towards, yes.
Or Haran word.
Haran word.
Like westward.
Yeah.
Eastward.
Okay. Vayifga. This is, and he encountered, right?
Yes.
Vayifga.
This word can also mean to hit something or to have some kind of blow, but it means encounter here. Ran into. That might be the most consistent way to translate it. and he ran into Bamakom.
Right. And they say that this is a name for God, the place.
Yeah, that's right.
Makom, Hamakom.
It's a rabbinic term for God.
Because and it refers to his omnipresence. He is at all places.
So there's debate about that. The rationalistic rabbis of the early Middle Ages, they didn't interpret it that way. They interpreted it as being, because it says hamakom, like emphasis on the definite article, that it means he's the place in the sense of like the rank, not just place, but makom can also mean rank. So he's like the one that comes in first place, the preeminent one.
But do you think that is what it means here in this verse?
No, I think
Okay.
here it just means a place, a location.
Okay. But they say also that this word in use with it is also makes it very unique because he hit at the place, like, right? Which is strange. He encountered,
No, it's
he
not
bumped
true.
into the place.
Yeah, but or he came. It's not weird. This term is used. It's not that rare. It's not like Vayeitzei. I can tell you though, I can say this, but I still don't think that it's anything unusual here. Because if God, it's used in the sense of encountering many places. It's not unusual. But I can tell you that the Aramaic word and the Arabic word for prayer means to contact something. You with me?
You said, yeah, to contact something. Hello? Did you hear me?
Yeah. No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you said to contact something, right?
To make contact with something.
Uh-huh.
So it's the same word in Arabic and in Hebrew. It's the same word. You hear it in the Kaddish. Salot Khon. Salot Khon is your salah, right? So you have the word sali, salah is the same word. In Arabic, it's salat. All right. So if you look on a lot of it, you'll many times hear Muslims, if they speak English, refer to the contact prayers. That's because their standard word for prayer means contact. So, and it's the same word and the same meaning in Aramaic, which we have in the Kaddish, a common Jewish prayer. So this word kind of makes sense in that. I can see how you could read into it, kind of like through Aramaic or Arabic lenses, that this may be to pray, right? He bumped into, or like he made contact, he prayed, as a synonym of those other Semitic languages words for prayer. But again, it's not really unusual wording.
But to say he encountered at the place?
That's just the way that this word's used. This is not the only place that this appears at all.
It's not the only place, but when it appears, is it as mystical as an experience as he had in this passage?
Well, if the word would not normally mean to encounter a place, then I would think it has more meaning than it does.
But encounter is much more than just arrived, right?
It's used in the sense of arrived.
Normally?
In many places, yes.
You're killing this.
Sorry.
No, there's nothing special about this.
If you want to say it's an asmachta, that's fine. Maybe it's intended that maybe it has extra meaning here, but I would say it's extra meaning. I wouldn't say it's the pshat.
Okay. What's an asmachta?
An asmachta is where you already have an assumption and then you read that assumption into somewhere else in the text.
Well, only because we know the story. But you're saying the wording in and of itself doesn't indicate anything special.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Moving on. Makom is place. Okay. Vayelen.
Vayalen, sorry.
Vayalen.
You remember that nighttime farewell I told you, Talin Batov?
Yes.
It's the same word.
Ah, okay. But what does that mean then?
It's like to spend the night, to go through the night. There's not an exact English translation, but it has to do with spending the night, to sleep.
Okay. So and he spent the night there.
Right. Yeah.
Vayan Sham. And he spent the
Right.
night there. Kiva Hashemesh, because the sun was coming.
It could also mean when the sun came or when the sun was coming.
When the sun was coming or setting, right?
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
It's literally coming, but this term's used for whatever reason. It's used for when the sun sets. But
Mhm.
on a literal level, it looks like it should be sunrise. You're right.
Mhm. Mhm. Vaikach, and he took me'avnei, from the stones of Hamakom, the place, Vayasem.
Yeah, I don't think it took stones that were composing our God.
Well, obviously that one is not. I'm just talking about the other one.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We have a stone
now
God.
you're reading into things. You're the
What's the word? Facetiously.
okay. Vayasem, and he put
Mm-hmm.
Mera Ashotav. Mera Ashotav.
Good. Now this is unusual. This is unusual because it literally says from his heads, and it has head being plural, plural feminine for some reason.
Oh, I discussed this with some.
Don't say it. I want to hear what you're gonna say. But something occurred to me just now, and I wonder if it's the same thing as what you're about to say.
Go ahead.
Can I say it?
Go ahead.
So, oftentimes when things come in pairs, well, usually when things come in pairs, they're put in feminine. So maybe this means at either end, like at his head and his feet. With Rosh here meaning not the biological head, but Rosh in the sense of the beginning of something. So like either end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what they concluded in the Hebrew group is that
What you were going to say?
it meant at the location of his head.
Oh, well, that's not the same as what it said. Anyway, because it's not the normal word for head. Head is normally without a sounded aleph. It's a silent aleph, and it's going to be treated like it's masculine. So you're going to say like she, heads of. You're not going to say roshot. And this is plural, so it's very odd.
Mm-hmm. It just means like around his head.
Yeah, but then you could say merosho. You wouldn't say mera ashotav. You would just say merosho.
Well, but they're explaining that there's similar wording when you say something like around your feet. It has a very similar construct.
Yeah, because feet is plural, so it would have av at the end. It would be otav, meraglav. Sorry, meraglav.
So you're saying it makes sense. It's okay when it's talking about your feet.
Well, feet is plural, so yeah, you're going to have a plural ending.
Well, it certainly does mean towards his head.
Yeah, I think it very well may be around his either end, like around his head and around his feet. That's why it's plural. But I'm not stating that as a fact.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. People don't usually put stones around your feet. Oh, yeah, I thought there was a rabbi that said that he put stones all around him to protect him from some kind of wild beasts or
That would make a lot more sense.
creatures or something like that, maybe.
Like it could be translated like at either end, so at both ends.
Mm-hmm.
If there
Okay.
are other places you might be able to say that.
So
Okay.
we're talking about, you're saying that this might mean not literally at his heads, but
Right.
at the
At
ends
either
or
end.
at his extremities, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. We're just
So the biological word for head, you don't ever pronounce the aleph. The aleph never has vowelization.
yeah.
And it's not plural. Like it's and it's not treated as feminine.
Mm-hmm.
This is plural, sounded aleph is treated as feminine, and even the possessive suffix av again emphasizes the plurality of it.
Mm-hmm. And of course, she doesn't have more than one head.
Exactly. But he does have more than one end. And one end can be regarded as like the head of something, the beginning of something.
And where do you get this from?
Well, rosh, the root word for rosh, can be used for the beginning of anything. So it's a matter of perspective. Like if you hold up a bar, you could say that either end of it is its head. I'm saying that from experience in modern.
It's true. Okay, I get that.
I'm saying that from modern Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. Which is based on biblical.
But it's the thing that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think he was a cyclops. I don't think he was a Siamese twin.
A two-headed, yeah.
That would be a Siamese twin.
Okay. Vayishkav, and he lay down. Bamakom, at that place. Hahu. That's that.
Yeah.
In the place that.
Same place.
Okay. So Vayachalom. Vayachalom is, and he dreamed.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, Sulam. I think that's ladder.
It is. Good job.
Okay. Sulam Mutsav Artsa.
Mm-hmm.
So that's set up.
Yes, was erected.
Was erected.
Was stood up. Yeah.
So Mutsa is.
Mutsav.
Okay. Was erected or stood. Artsa on the land or on the
landward. Literally, it's landward, like towards the land. So it sounds like it's coming down from the sky.
Ah. Oh, okay, interesting.
Just like we had earlier, harana, that ending.
Towards Haran. This is
right.
toward.
Right, and if it's toward, that means it's not coming from there; it's going toward it. Right?
Oh,
that makes it sound like it's coming out of the sky.
Mm-hmm. Okay, verosho.
See here, rosho. There's no sounded aleph, and it's not roshato, right? Which would be feminine. It's not roshato. It's rosho. It's treated like it's masculine.
Mm-hmm. Which is its top or its end.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about
Look at that, Miss Mai. See here, it's showing rosh being in reference to an end.
Yes. True. Mm-hmm.
Would it be a coinkydink?
Okay. So it's trying to tell us like what it's defining the word for us, right?
Possibly.
In this. Okay. Magia. Magia is reached.
Yes, literally, it's like arrives.
Okay. Oh, okay. So arrives Hashemayma, towards heaven.
Right, which is also interesting because the same way we had Artsa, now it's saying Shemaima. So it sounds like this ladder is coming out from between heaven and earth.
Right. So it's not really touching exactly.
It's like extending in midair, coming down and going up.
Yeah. So it's going towards the earth, and its head or its top reach towards heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Behine, and behold, malache, messengers or angels of Elohim, God, Olim, which is we're descending. No, we're ascending.
Yes.
Veyodim, and descending. That one's descending. Bo, on it, on the ladder. So this is Olim is like Aliyah and
Yes, same root.
ascending.
To ole la Torah, to go up to the Torah.
And um, Yordim is like Yerida,
That's right.
to go down. Or he will go down. He will go down. Okay. Alrighty. Is that 3 verses?
I believe so.
I heard I think it was Prager say that he believes that it wasn't like a ladder like a ladder that we would use at home, but he believes that it was like ziggurats.
Oh, interesting.
Because that was the kind of
like pyramids, step pyramids.
Because that was common in his day.
Interesting.
What do you think of that? Possibly.
I think, well, it's a good point, a very valid point, that they didn't have, as far as I know, they didn't have the retractable type of ladders that we have today. But it's odd, the wording, the way it says it was erected landward, like the direction, the way it was erected landward and heavenward, like it's stretching. I guess the ugarat or zugurats, not ugarat, that's a language. I guess it could have been floating in midair or something like that, or descending.
They had ladders, right? They had ladders. I think they had ladders.
Yeah, but I doubt they had the
retracting. But
yeah, I doubt they had the retractable type. I guess the zuggurat could have been like descending from the sky, so that it does reach downward, but it still reaches heavenward, in the sense that it comes to a pinnacle heavenward. Yeah, I think that's probably a more historically accurate understanding. It's true.
It's possible, yeah.
I think it's more reasonable.
Another, I don't know where this is from, but another interpretation, Midrash interpretation, I guess, is that it was a DNA type ladder.
Okay. Double helix.
Yeah, double helix. There we go. Have you heard of that?
No, but I think they're pretty.
Alrighty then. Okay, that's good.